day out. Age of 18, I started basically just diving in, right? I spent hours on YouTube, hours devouring content. I was on different webinars.
Straight
I
to
was
stock market, right?
stock market, whatever kind of markets, right? And I was just learning about kind of the fundamentals of the marketplace,
Okay.
right? And so what's always interested me, and I guess it's more of the hustler mentality, is like flipping one into two. How can I make my money work for me, right? Because your money, it naturally just, it sits. And I'm like, all right, well, where can I get some returns on this? Where can I get some XYZ? Like, what can I do with this while I'm going through school? And I had these dreams of being a doctor, right? And so that's kind of my path. That's where I started out. And then I reached out to a couple companies, right? And I was like, yo, what can I do something for free? Can I be an intern? What can I do? And then they all said no. I swear, they all said no. And I was like, well, shoot, like, what am I going to do? Like, I'm a college kid and like, I really want to learn this, but like, they don't teach it to you in college. Like I was in classes and I was trying to understand and nothing, they just wouldn't teach you anything. They would teach you theories. And so eventually I found a company named SangLucci, and that's who I reached out to.
How did you find out about them?
I found out on Twitter. So this is another question I get all the time, is like, where did you come across this, right? And it was just countless hours, and I came across it on Twitter. So they were giving out like a scholarship at the time, something they were doing for whatever they were doing at the time. And I was like, listen, like, I sent the email, and Charlie knows this. So Charlie is the partner of SangLucci, right?
Yeah.
And Charlie knows this, and I sent him an email, and I think on the email it said, listen, like, I'm not interested in the scholarship that you guys are offering. So I think it was a scholarship for the class they were offering. I was like, I'm not interested in that. I can't afford the class, but I can work. I can work for free, and this is what I want to do. And he said, yeah.
Hey,
he said, yeah. So I found out later that it was just right time, right place. So the guy that I was interning with, I basically just started out bare minimum, knew nothing. The things I was saying to these people, I was like I look back on it now, and it's the most embarrassing thing ever. Because
but everybody has to go through that. That's great, dude.
Exactly. So I'm reaching out, and I'm like talking to these guys, and they're probably like, man, like, this kid is annoying. Like, I would just hit them all up. I'd be like, hey, like, what can I learn here? What can I learn here? Is this good? Is this good? And slowly, like, I just was integrated into the business, and we slowly started working, and that was how I'd spend my days, right? So I would work for SangLucci, and then this was, I want to say, my junior year of college. Senior year of college, I told him I was going to work for free. That was the deal. Like,
yeah,
I knew that the value I provided was nothing of anything that would be comparable to a monetary, basically, anything. I knew the value that I provided, that it would never compensate in any terms of monetary value, right? Yeah. And so I'm learning, and I'm trying to learn, and I understand my place. And so at the time, like, I had to get other jobs, right? So I worked as a janitor. So my day started as such, right? And my grandma and my mom don't know about this, but they're kind of pretty much the reasons I went to college, right?
Okay.
They kept pushing me. They're like, you got to go to college. You got to get a degree. You got to continue.
More because of the family, right?
Exactly. So, and I have a problem. Like, I don't want to quit. So once I start something, I'm never going to let it.
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah. So this is kind of what I did. And I knew that I had to pay for my rent. I had to pay for all of these loans. I had to pay for all of this, right?
Right.
So in my mind, I'm like, okay, how am I going to do this? And I got 2 jobs. So basically my day started 5 a.m. 5 a.m., I'd wake up, right? And I'm in college. Like, I've got 7 roommates at the time. Everybody's loud.
Jeez, 7 roommates, whoa.
Everybody's loud. Like, it's the college environment. So sleep just didn't exist. Sleep didn't exist. So I would wake up at 5 in the morning, maybe on 3 hours of sleep.
Right.
And I would go in, and I was a janitor. So I worked from 6 in the morning till 10 in the morning. And I basically opened up one of the buildings on campus. It's called the Michigan State Union. And so one thing about Michigan is it's really cold. So like a lot of the mornings I would spend like shoveling the sidewalks and shoveling everything, right? So it'd be really cold, and you would just be shoveling, salting. Kids are getting up, they're going to school.
Right.
It was super pretty, but it was freezing. And so that was my days. 6 to 10, I would take out trash, I would clean toilets, I would do whatever was needed to
And
be
in
a
between
janitor.
that time, you would also be working for Luch.
So this is the day. 6 to 10 is when I'd be the janitor, right?
Right.
On my breaks, I'd be working. I would be looking at, this was during the crypto boom. I was looking at cryptocurrencies. I was in the chat room talking with members in the chat room. And then from 10 till 4, I would be working with SangLucci. I would be active, involved, trying to learn as much as possible. What can I learn here? What can I do here? What can I do there, right?
Yeah.
And during that time, I'll go to class sometimes I wouldn't go to class, and I would just figure out ways to where I could learn the stuff and teach myself on the side. So it was basically like full-time job, part-time college. And and that's how I did it. And then so from 4 till like 8 at night, I would go work for these other families. I basically ran a corner, and what I would do is I would do all their lawn care. I would do like cleaning garages, weeding their driveways, and
Straight hustling.
yeah, exactly. So and I actually took over one of the corners because the city was supposed to mow, but they never mowed. So I just mowed it for them. And so that was like my corner. So I would do that from 4 to 8, and then 8 to like 9, I would go to the gym, and then I go to bed and do it again. And then slowly, like I graduated college, and then the opportunity. I moved back in with my parents, right? And I was like, hey, like this is great. Like I miss you guys, but
You didn't decide to pursue your career.
I mean, I'm old, man. Like once you move out of with your family, like it's cool. Like you want to be with your parents and stuff in moderation. You know what I mean? It's for me. It was like, okay, like I want to visit you guys. I want you to be in my life, but I need my own space. So the opportunity, Lucci moved down to Puerto Rico, and I was like, hey, listen, like we talked about it previously. He was like, yo, come down to Puerto Rico. And I was like, cool, let's do it. And then we never like capitalized on it. And then so I just hit him up one day and I'm like, hey, I'm coming. And he's like, sure, whatever, sure you're coming, right? And then I came. So that was it. That was kind of my story.